Man, that was a crazy ending to this game. What a hell of a football game we just witnessed. I want to give a huge congratulations to the Buffalo Bills for winning this game and advancing on to the divisional rounds in the NFL playoffs. Now, they will be at home no matter what, so they're going to be at home for the divisional round. They will be taking on either the Cincinnati Bengals or the Jacksonville Jaguars. So one of those teams is coming up to Buffalo for the divisional round. We will see how things go at the end of the day, but oh boy, this game, Buffalo, I'm not even gonna lie, man. If you're a Bills fan, you can't be happy with how this game went. You can be happy with the results, but you should not be happy with how the team played overall, because this was not a good look. For the Miami Dolphins, it's unfortunate your season ends here, but my God, you played one hell of a game. And if it wasn't for a few mistakes and a few couple instances, you guys might have pulled off the upset. You had a rookie, Skylar Thompson, coming into Buffalo with all the pressure in the world, and he helped this team almost pull off the upset. It's crazy as to what happened here. Now, with that being said, with me getting my congratulations out to the Bills and me giving credit to the Dolphins, let's get into this game. I need to focus in on the Bills, because the way you guys played today in a game like this is concerning. This is the team I picked to go to the Super Bowl. Objectively, I made my Super Bowl pick and said the Bills are coming out of the AFC. After a game like this, I am really concerned about their chances moving forward, because this game is a prime example of some of the concerns and issues I've had with this Bills team all season. This game here, early on, looked like it was going to be a carbon copy of the Wildcard matchup we saw last year between the Bills and Patriots. A game where the Bills from start to finish just dominate. They're going to take over, destroy this team, and move on. And early on in this game, it seemed like that was going to be the case. All of a sudden, you're looking at Buffalo, they're up 17-0, just like that. And everyone's just sitting there and saying, all right, we're going to wait until halftime and turn this off. It looks like Buffalo is going to dominate. This should be an easy one. No Tua here, no Raheem Mostert, so they're missing two vital weapons on offense. We should be able to get the job done. And they're already up 17-0 now, so this game's going to be over. But then all of a sudden, the game just flipped on its head, and everything changed. And it all started with something Josh Allen has been doing all season. A turnover. Josh Allen has been turning the ball over. He has 5 red zone interceptions. That is the most by any quarterback this season. He actually has the most total turnovers for a player this season. When you combine the fumbles and the interceptions, he's up there. He's number 1. And he displayed both of those today. So the game flipped on its head. They're up 17-0. He's going down the field on a deep ball to John Brown, and it's underthrown and picked off. Tony Romo on the broadcast was sitting there and saying that's on John Brown, because John Brown looked like he slowed down early on and then tried to head forward. I'm not gonna get into that, but it's just the way the play looked to me at that moment. From what I saw, it looked like the ball was underthrown. So I feel like some of that had to be on Josh Allen, but I'm not going to get into that. Whatever Tony's on the broadcast, I'm going to let that slide. But yeah, that first turnover happened, and Miami was able to take advantage of it. But things started to really get chaotic once we got closer and closer to halftime, because Miami got the ball, and we already knew Miami was going to get the ball coming out of halftime. So they had the ball under 2 minutes, and they go down the field, and they're not able to do anything there, and they end up putting a field goal. So they put up a field goal, and all of a sudden, it's an 8-point game. So you're sitting here and you're thinking to yourself, damn, it's 17-9 now. They put up a field goal. They're heading into halftime, being down only 1 score. They had a moment there where they could have gone for it on 4th down, but McDaniel decided to just let him kick it and take the 3. They took the 3, and it was 17-9. Next thing you know, another turnover happens, and Miami's in prime field position now. So another pick happens from Josh Allen. They're in prime field position, and all of a sudden, just before halftime, they have an opportunity to tie it up, and that's exactly what they do. Skylar Thompson hits Mike Gesicki in the back of the end zone, touchdown. They go for two. Tyreek Hill catches the 2-point conversion. And just like that, it's a 17-17 game heading into halftime. Or is it? Because there's still time on the clock. And Josh Allen gets the ball. And they go down the field, get into field goal range, and kick a field goal just before halftime. So we go into halftime with it being a 20-17 game. Considering the fact that Miami was down 17 to start the game, this was a perfect position for the Miami Dolphins to be in. You come out of halftime, Dolphins get the ball first, Bills defense strikes there, makes a stop, gets the ball back to the offense. And now it's Buffalo's time to try and regain control. They've lost momentum. Miami's fought back in the game. Let's see if we can extend this lead to 10. What ends up happening is Josh Allen ends up getting stripped. A strip sack happens. The ball is recovered by the defense and it's ran into the end zone for a touchdown. And just like that, the game goes from 2017 Bills to 24-20 Dolphins. And things start getting very dicey as we move closer and closer. That third quarter was probably the longest third quarter we've had this season because there was so many punts, so many crazy turnovers and moments. It's just that third quarter was chaotic as hell. And in this game here, for Josh Allen to have 3 turnovers, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. That's a legitimate problem. I do have concerns because this is a game that Miami really had a chance to take, and they just missed on some key opportunities. In fact, early on in the game, first drive, you had Skylar Thompson take a shot down the field to Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Waddle, man, he cracked under the playoff pressure. For much of this game, he cracked under the playoff pressure because he just couldn't catch the football. First drive of the game, he gets open behind the defense. Looks like if he can make that catch, he's going to hit his hand on the goalpost and get 6 points right there. He drops the pass. It's in his hands and he drops the pass. He was not there in the first half. For much of this game, he just looked lost. It looked like the playoff pressure got to him early on. And there was some early playoff jitters for a lot of the players, but they were able to shake it off. But yeah, here we are in the third quarter here. And it's a 24-20 game, and it just starts going back and forth. Eventually, the Buffalo Bills are able to get the lead. They end up going down the field. They put up a touchdown, and then they end up having a field goal. So now all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. It's 34-24. Now we're in the fourth quarter. Miami this time around is able to go down the field, put up a touchdown, and all of a sudden it's a 3-point game. Clock continues to wind down, and this is where some of the opportunities for Miami is starting to be, lost. They've had moments where there were certain catches and certain plays that could have been made that they just missed out on, and Buffalo had some opportunities that would have allowed them to be able to really just close this game out, and they also miss on them. So that fourth quarter was very chaotic. A lot of miscues were happening, and it was causing both teams to punt. Matter of fact, in this game, I think it was 5 or 6 straight drives. When you looked at the Buffalo's offense, they had 5 or 6 possessions that just ended in a punt or a turnover. This is not good. They really struggled against this team. Miami's defense, they gave up a lot of points, but they were actually making stops in key situations. You would assume the Bills defense, you would assume the Dolphins defense wouldn't have been able to hang with Josh Allen, but I did say this in my preview video. The Dolphins defense has played Josh Allen well in the matchups. They were able to win the first one in week 2 in Miami, and the second one they barely lost. But this defense has been able to play well against Josh Allen. They've kind of figured out some of the things he's doing, and they have been able to get pressure on him during the time they've matched up against him. So they figured some things out, and they were able to execute on that. But still, you felt like the Bills offense should have been able to perform a little bit better, and some of the drops that they had in some of these situations was very unfortunate. So all of a sudden, it's a 3-point game. We're in the fourth quarter. It's a back and forth affair. Buffalo's not putting up any points, but Miami's not putting up points, and it gets down to under 4 minutes, and now Miami has the football. Miami's trying to go down the field. Game's on the line, season's on the line. Skylar Thompson makes a hell of a throw to Jalen Waddle, who made the biggest catch of the game at that point, and it was a catch he desperately needed because, again, he was having jitters. That might have been his second. It was his first or second catch of the whole game on that play. So they're still alive. They're still trying to make plays, and all of a sudden, we get down to a point where the game is on the line, season's on the line, 4th and 1. And what ends up happening? Delay a game. One thing I haven't spoken of here is that the play calling was The communication for the Dolphins was not good because the play calling was constantly getting to the huddle late. The play calls to get the play calls to Skylar, it was taking way too much time. And because of that, they ended up lining up and getting so many delay of games or so many near delay of games. All three, they used maybe 3 or 4 timeouts in this game just to stop the delay of game from happening. Like the communication was just not there, and it was affecting the play calling because the play calling was getting into the huddle late, so they were getting out of the huddle late and they were getting set late, and all of a sudden they're trying to snap the ball with 0 seconds left, and they got called a couple times. And a bunch of other times they have to use their timeouts. They weren't using their timeouts for anything else other than to stop them from getting themselves a delay of game penalty. So the communication was very, very tough for them, especially as the game winded down. So in the biggest moment of the season, it's 4th and 1 play here, and they get called for delay of game. One thing that was actually interesting was the Buffalo Bills legitimately were they were giving life to Miami, because there were a couple times where if the Buffalo Bills would have done certain things and just not made mistakes or penalties, they would have been fine. One thing that I didn't mention was that the Miami Dolphins decided to go for it all a little bit earlier, where it was a 4th down play, and I'm pretty sure they were in their own territory, and that probably would have iced the game there. They went for that, and they took a shot downfield, and they just missed. But that play was already called dead initially because Sean McDermott called a timeout. So there was 2 or 3 moments where the Bills themselves saved the Dolphins from screwing themselves over. They saved them from their own mistakes, and it was crazy to see. So yeah, this is a wild game all around. But anyway, back to the description here. 4th and 1. They get called in a delay game, so now it's backed up to 4th and 6. And this one was very tough to watch. And I know Tyreek Hill is going to be thinking about that for the rest of the offseason. Now, Tyreek Hill in this game played well. Given the circumstances, he played well. He did have a drop or two early on, but Tyreek Hill was still Tyreek Hill. He was still making plays. He had an opportunity over the top, but just wasn't able to get it there. And in this game, in this certain moment here with 4th and 6, if you go back and look at the play, when you look at the all-22 footage, you will see that Tyreek Hill gets open. He's coming across the middle. And in fact, this happened twice. It was 2 or 3 times where you had Tyreek Hill coming across the middle, getting open, and Skylar didn't look at him. Skylar, for much of this game, just kept looking at the right side. Occasionally he was looking left, but he was not scanning the field. If you look at his eyes, he was not scanning the field. He was just locked in on the right side. And anybody that was on the right side, he just threw to them. So he was consistently looking at the right. He wasn't looking at the middle. He wasn't looking left. He was not going through his reads. He just stuck to the right side because I guess that's his side he favors. So there was a couple times they were running these routes across these crossing routes with Tyreek Hill, and they just weren't connecting because Skylar just was not looking in that direction. And on 4th and 6, on the biggest play of the season for the Dolphins, he doesn't even look towards Tyreek Hill's direction. Tyreek Hill is the best player on your offense. With the game on the line, you got to go to him. And this is what veteran quarterbacks understand, and hell, good or great quarterbacks, they understand this. With the season on the line, and in these big moments, what you need to do is you have to look for your best players, the guys that can make these plays. If Tua was in this game, if he was playing and he was there at that moment on 4th and 6, I'm telling you, he's throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. He's looking for Tyreek Hill over the middle because Tyreek Hill was streaking across the middle, but Skylar just kept looking right. So it's 4th and 6. He's looking right. He decides he wants to go for Gesicki, and Gesicki almost made the play, and it was almost a touch. It was almost a first down there, but no, it was actually almost a turnover. It was almost a turnover. My mistake. I was correct. It was almost a turnover, but nah. It ended up falling incomplete. It was almost a turnover, but the defender just was barely able. He barely missed the ball, and it got in the hands of Gesicki, and Gesicki just couldn't hold on. So a turnover almost happened there, but it was a turnover that almost turned into a catch, but ended up being incomplete, and all of a sudden, bam, that's just it there. So Buffalo gets the ball, turnover on downs, and all Buffalo has to do is get a first down, and the game's over. Because the Dolphins pretty much spent the entire game utilizing their timeouts to stop the delay of games. They just didn't have any timeouts left. So 1 to 2 minutes now, they're running the ball. First down, running the ball. Second down, running the ball. And third down, they line up running the ball. It's like a 3rd and 4 or a 3rd and 5 situation. And you would assume Miami would be able to make a stop so that they can get the ball back at least with about 30 seconds left and see if they can get the field goal range, because it's still a 3-point game. They didn't need a touchdown. They needed the field goal to tie. And they could have had the opportunity knowing who they have on offense. So this third down run here, it looks like initially it's going to be stopped 3 yards short, but then you see Singletary keeps his feet and he keeps going and he keeps going and he's getting pushed, and every defensive player for the Dolphins are there, but they're just not making a stop. And at the end of the day, the officials ruled it to be a first down. Now, if you look at the replay, it really looks like he's short. It looks like he's at least half a yard short. But the officials ruled it as a first down initially. Then they went and took a look at it on the replay and came back and said, no, there's not enough evidence to overturn it. We're going to stand with this call. It's a first down. So that's definitely a call that's that kind of low-key screwed over the Dolphins. But in a situation like that, I really don't know what to tell you. In a situation like that, you just hope the refs don't screw you over, or better yet, you just hope you're not in a situation like that in the first place. But in a situation like that, you just got to deal with it. It's unfortunate. There's nothing you can do. It's not a situation you can challenge because you're under 2 minutes. It's already going to review. It's just something you have to deal with. And in a situation like that, if you're the Bills, if it does get overturned, it'd be like 4th and inches, and you have Josh Allen. You would just have him do a quarterback sneak to win the game. But yeah, they kind of got screwed. The refs in this game was bad. But I don't need to tell you that because the refs in about every game that's been played this season have been bad, so you kind of just got to get used to it. Anyway, that pretty much ends Miami's season here. It ends on a sombering note, but you got to be happy with the effort that the Dolphins put up here. To be down 17 points and fight back into this game. They tied it at some point, and they even had the lead at some point. That shows fight, that shows grit, that shows effort. And Dolphin fans, you got to at least be able to appreciate that. But I know this one hurts because every Dolphin fan has to be sitting there thinking, man, if we had Tua in this game, we would have been able to win. If we had Tua in this game, we would have been able to win because some of the throws that Skyler was missing and some of the reads that he was just flat out missing, you would at least believe or think that Tua's going to make those reads and he's going to make those throws. But yeah, it just didn't happen here. So Miami has officially been eliminated. Their season ends here, and the Buffalo Bills head on to the divisional round. They're going to be at home to host the divisional round, so they'll take on Cincinnati if Cincinnati beats Baltimore tonight. And if that's not the case, if Baltimore gets the upset, then they'll have a nice little date with Jacksonville coming up there. So it's either the Jaguars or the Bengals for the divisional round for Buffalo, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. One quick message before I go: Buffalo, you need to get your act together. Josh Allen, you need to get your crap together. You guys can't keep turning the ball over. You escaped. I want you to understand, you didn't win this game. You escaped. That is not going to work in the divisional round. If you end up taking on Cincinnati, that is a quick way to be sent home. If you're dealing with Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, that is a quick way to get sent home. You guys need to get it together. Stop turning the ball over so much. And this defense has to make stops, bro. You can't give 31 points to a Dolphins team with no Tua as their quarterback. And there's no Mostert, so they're missing guys. You can't have that happen. I expect the Bills defense to be more aggressive and better performing than this. I expect them to execute more efficiently than what they did today. You can't give up 31 points, not in a playoff game. You got to be better than that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. And with that being said, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.